Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS. Now, it's real time. Sponsored by Cokewell Casino Resort.
Welcome back, everyone. Now, for the first time here on Outdoor GPS, we've got Dan Fisher from Fisher's Guide Service, and we're going to give Dan that opportunity to do something that doesn't happen very often, to come on for the first time and maybe hook up while we're talking. Not to jinx you, Dan, but we're gonna put that pressure on you while we're on live television. But first things first, good morning to you, Ben. How's the fishing?
Hey, good morning, Owen. Fishing's pretty good this morning. It started off a little bit rough. It wasn't as good as the last few days have been. We struggled a little bit early on. We lost our first 5, actually. And then we kind of put it together, and we landed the next 3. We landed a double and killed them both. Beautiful hatchery Chinook. And then we just released a wild co about 5 minutes ago.
Well, all right. So you went 0 for 5, and now you're 3 for 3 post that. Okay, that's good. There's nothing wrong with that at all. So you mentioned a little bit, the last couple of days, things have been a little bit different, right? We had the weather change that came in. It was stormy, lots of rain. What did you actually notice that had happened, and has things kind of come back around a little bit, do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. The weather change was a huge, curveball thrown at us. But yesterday we didn't really know what to expect coming out of those fish that were kind of sliding back and forth in the estuary. We didn't know if they were going to stage or if they were going to bomb through because all that rain. And we came out in the morning, and it was absolutely lights out yesterday morning. As fast as you could put rods in the water, and it was just unbelievable fishing. Today is just a different story. They weren't where we all thought. The fleet kind of moved around. We all jammed in the same spot this morning, and it wasn't near as good as it has been the last few days.
Well, understanding that, of course, Dan's no rookie at this, everyone. He understands what he needs to do. But when you see the crowd like that and not a lot going on, what's your next move? Based on what the tide is today, are you heading upriver, are you heading downriver, or are you going to stick it out in that area?
Right now I'm I'm a little bit below buoy 20 off the checkerboard troll, and I'm getting good marks on my graph. And so I'm just kind of sticking it out right now. We've had some good action the last maybe 15 minutes or so. So I'm going to just give this a little while longer and, just see how it all falls into place. I don't like to move a lot down here. If I like to stay true to what I know. Moving a lot down here, then you can just chase your tail all day long.
That's a really good point. It's such a big area. You can start following reports around, and by the time you get to wherever you were going, it's over. I've been guilty of that many times over the years. Okay, so pretty much a normal question here, a standard question. It's been 2 weeks into the season. Again, you've spent plenty of time down there over the years. But to you, how's the season been from the 1st to the 17th for you?
I would say overall the consistency of this year has been above average from what I've ever seen in the last 15 years of fishing down here. It's been far above average. There was a tough day when we had that first south wind, and other than that, it's been extremely consistent fishing. When they shut off the wild retention, it got a little bit tougher to retain your limit every day, but there's still plenty of action all the way around for the fleet.
Well, one of the big questions and topic that we talked about a lot here in the last couple of weeks for good reason is that there's been a lot of silvers around, a lot of coho. Have you noticed the same thing? And what are kind of your thoughts as you kind of go through the remainder of August? And then, of course, there's going to be the change that happens where it's silvers only. How do you feel about that? And what have you seen or experienced so far in 2025 when you're talking about silvers in the estuary?
Well, it's amazing. I spent the first 5 or 6 days out in the ocean of August, end of July and first part of August. And the amount of silvers that were staging out there was unbelievable. And then those first few days in the river that I fished on those bigger tides, there was 3 days in a row. That buoy 10 bite was probably the best silver fishing I've seen this early on. It was just incredible. And every day, there was 3 days, and each day it got better. And so on these next big tides, I think it's going to be pretty incredible fishing. Lots of opportunities for everybody.
Well, that's one of the questions I wanted to ask you. We've been getting questions from some of our viewers that are fishing down there, and they, like, hey, we get our Chinook, but now we want to catch a silver. How's a good way to try to decipher or, separate yourself from those Chinook and actually maybe target silvers? Or is there even anything that you can do to kind of target silvers specifically?
There is definitely. I like to, it depends where I'm fishing at, what part of the estuary I'm in. If I'm out at the 10 can, I really try to focus putting my lines up a little bit higher, and I feel higher and maybe a different presentation. I like a lot of pinks. Chartreuse is always good. And then if I'm not down at the 10 can, I like to get over in some of the shallow flats. A lot of the coho they'll hold in those shallow flats a lot. They're easy to pick on around all the sand flats in the checkerboard, along the sands along the green line, or on the Washington side in the church, but on the shallow side of that.
Gotcha. Great answer. I mean, really, there are certainly some things that you can do, everyone, if you're one of those folks out there that were asking that question. Change things up a little bit. Colors, presentation, and location can certainly help out. Not always. I mean, you're still probably going to catch a Chinook or two, but you might be able to just do a little bit better with the silvers. Okay, well, that leads me to my next question. What are you actually fishing with this morning? Are you doing the 360 thing like everyone? And if you are, what are you fishing behind them?
Yeah, so I am doing the 360 program. I have the Pro Trolls out. I kind of have a mixed bag of always my program. I have several spin fish. The Mexican half spin fish has been good, and the double treble. They've been very consistent for me all year. And then I have a couple skinnies, Brad's Superbait skinnies, and I think we have a Diablo color, and I believe maybe a Jim Dandy out there right now. And they've all been consistent. I have 2 rods up in the front. I did set them down just because we were in the middle of some chaos a little bit ago, and those have super baits and a spin fish as well.
Any
That's
bait?
Kind of my program.
Any bait for you, Dan? I mean, is it even something that you deal with anymore, or are you just sticking with some sort of stuffer bait behind those 360s?
I run stuffer baits and a lot of spinners. That's just kind of my program. I used to run a lot of bait, but the simplicity of this and the results, you just can't argue with them.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I had to ask the question, because pretty much this year, I can say that all of you guys have made that conversion. Very, very few are really focusing on any bait. Maybe a little bit of anchovy out there, but other than that, it's some sort of a stuffer or a spinner. Really, really kind of taken over that fishery down there. All right, so based on today, you kind of already answered this. You said you're going to kind of stick it out there. But as we go through this upcoming week, the way that it's the 3rd week of August, tide sets are always different. Every day is different. Are you going to starting out in different areas in the estuary, or are you going to stay down in that checkerboard area each day?
Today I started the sawdust pile. It did come together. Tomorrow I'll probably make an adjustment. I'm not certain. Every day I just revisit it. Some days you go up towards the ship anchorage or you're over in the church hole. Every day I'll make the adjustment just based on my knowledge and my reports. Staying in communication with your network and keeping your circle, good and rounded, and just basing all the knowledge that everybody kind of puts together over the years. And it just kind of tells you where to go. But, the rain kind of goofed things up the last couple of days, and it's still good fishing. Just, 8 chances, and it's only 9:30s. That's still a great morning.
Yeah. There's a reason why everybody's down there, and Dan kind of nailed it. It's really good opportunities and good fishing. Okay, last question. Now we're getting into the end of, it's the middle of August, right? We're moving into the latter part of August. When are you going to make the decision to head upriver and maybe start targeting different zones, maybe zone 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever it might be?
I'm actually going to be staying down here through the month of September for coho.
Nice.
I really enjoy it down here for coho. It's pretty amazing fishing, and then the limit goes to 3 hatchery fish each. So there's a lot of opportunity and half a third of the amount of people, and it can just be absolutely incredible fishing. It's a good time down here. I do go up and Chinook fish sometimes, but I like to stay down here through the month of September.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I get it, man. I mean, especially from a professional point of view, 3 fish limit, hatchery only, lots and lots of silvers on their way through. At least that's what they're projecting. And all evidence shows that it's going to be a bumper crop. Let's just cross our fingers that actually happens. But Dan, hey, listen, for the very first time on Outdoor GPS, you did great, man. Just no bites.
Thanks for having me.
It doesn't happen every time. Sometimes somebody gets bit when we're talking. But now what's going to happen, Dan, so that you know, as soon as we hang up, you're going to get bit. So just be ready.
Hey, I hope so.
All right, so just be ready. That's Dan Fisher, everyone. He's the owner of Fisher's Guide Service. If you can find him online, which we just showed you, all of his info, by all means, we recommend him highly to get out there on the water, either it be for fall Chinook, summer Chinook, or springers. Dan can help you be successful when you get out there. Dan, have a great day, okay, man? Be safe out there, and tell all your clients thanks for being patient with us, okay?
Hey, thank you, and thanks for having me, and I'll let them know. Thank you.
You bet, bud. Take care.